Now, on the program today, two major flashpoints in Nigeria's politics and economy. In Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara returns to Port Harcourt after 6 months of emergency rule as questions linger over how he will navigate his fierce rivalry with predecessor and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. And in the oil sector, a fresh showdown. Depot owners under DAPMAN threaten legal action against the Dangote refinery over allegations of fuel diversion. While Senator Aliu Ndume urges restraint, warning that attacks on the $20 billion plant could undermine national interest. This is Standpoint. I am Precious Amayu. Now, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has returned to Port Harcourt, ending a 6-month political vacuum. He arrived at the Port Harcourt International Airport on Friday to a rousing welcome from supporters, and that's just days after President Bola Tinubu lifted the emergency rule in the state. Governor Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu had been away since March when President Tinubu declared a state of emergency following a bitter power tussle between Fubara and his predecessor, now FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. A retired naval chief, Vice Admiral Ibo Kete-Bas, was installed as sole administrator during the period. The crisis split the Rivers State House of Assembly, raising fears of instability. But a reconciliation effort in June brought Fubara, Wike, and other key actors to the table with the president. And now, as governance resumes, attention shifts to how Fubara will navigate lingering political rivalries, especially after local council elections in August, where the APC swept 20 of 23 councils, leaving the PDP with just 3. Legal practitioner Evans Ufeli joins me for more insight into the political situation in Rivers State. Good to have you join us.
Thank you.
So I remember one of the, again, welcome to our studio. I know this is your first time here. But, you know, I remember one of the episodes on this program we had when you were on. You were on with one of the then deposed local government chairmen. And I don't know if you remember that episode. It was a back and forth between both of you.
Very well.
And on the legal proceedings that were going on at the time, you were trying to interpret it to him.
Yes.
But he had a very different, idea of what it meant.
Yes.
But as you look back now, coming from all of that and what has happened in Rivers State now, state of emergency, governor has resumed. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, what I make of it all is that the democracy we have in Rivers State have been highly ruptured. Given that the governor had to be away for 6 months because of the state of emergency, which was actually very controversial and highly criticized because the Constitution in Section 305 never preempted or suggested that a democratically elected governor should be removed. The Constitution made copious provision as to how a governor can leave his seat, either by death, resignation, or by impeachment. If the Constitution had preempted that a governor can be removed through a state of emergency, it would have been included in that section that talked about how a governor can vacate his seat. You understand? So, but that is behind us now because the case is before the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court have not determined the matter. And then the pendency of the state of emergency is over. But the case has not been withdrawn. It's still before the court. So it must be attended to sometime in future. But when you look at it, the Fubara I see today, from the speech he delivered that I read, even though it's very difficult to predict politicians, especially in Nigeria, but from the speech I read, I see someone who wants to be subservient going forward. I mean, coming from a whole hog of crisis, I've not heard from the state, from the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. I've not seen any publication